History is written by the victors. But what happens when entire civilizations vanish, leaving behind only whispers and anomalies? There was once an empire, vast and sprawling, with cities more advanced than their time, with architecture that defied logic, and technology that seemed almost forbidden. Yet, if you search the official records, you'll find nothing. A blank space in history. Tartaria the Great Tartary. A name erased, a civilization deliberately buried. But what if I told you? The ruins are still there. The artifacts still whisper. The truth is still waiting to be unearthed. Tonight, we step into the forgotten, into the lost, into the secrets they don't want you to know. In the heart of Eurasia, beneath layers of forgotten history, whispers of a once mighty empire persist. Tartaria, a kingdom so vast it stretched across continents, yet its name has been wiped from our textbooks, its people reduced to mere footnotes in obscure historical texts. Who were the Tartarians? Why does history refuse to acknowledge them? And most chilling of all, why does it seem as though someone erased them? Officially, Tartaria was nothing more than a loose confederation of nomadic tribes. But the architectural anomalies tell a different story. Structures resembling those of Rome, yet found in the depths of Siberia. Enormous star forts whose designs rival the precision of Renaissance Europe. Towers, domes, and impossibly large doorways, hinting at a civilization more advanced than we've been told. If Tartaria was merely a land of scattered tribes, who built these? And why? Are they still standing? If you search the textbooks today, you will find little, if anything, on Tartaria. Maps from the 15th, 16th, and 17th centuries mark its existence with certainty. Yet by the 19th century, it vanishes. No empire crumbles without a trace. No civilization dissolves into nothingness without a force ensuring its silence. Why was an empire so vast, larger than Russia itself, systematically erased from history? Some say it was absorbed, conquered, and forgotten. Others suggest something far more sinister. What if Tartaria wasn't just a forgotten empire, but a civilization deliberately wiped from our memory? They say architecture is the language of history, carved in stone and cast in iron. But across the world, there are buildings that seem misplaced. Grand, impossibly sophisticated structures, adorned with intricate domes, colossal archways, and spires that whisper of a forgotten era. They are unlike anything built by the cultures that supposedly constructed them. Historians call them neoclassical, but their origins are far older. Too old, some say, for conventional history to explain. What if these were not merely designs borrowed from antiquity, but remnants of a civilization that once spanned the globe? The world's fairs, ostensibly showcases of modern ingenuity, were home to entire cities of Greco-Roman architecture, built, we are told, in mere months. And yet, within years, many of these structures were destroyed, as if erasing a secret history hidden in plain sight. Temporary. That is the word they used to explain how entire metropolises of impossible beauty were constructed, and just as quickly dismantled. But what if these were not temporary at all? What if these buildings, these so-called wonders, belong to an empire long erased? Imagine a world where cathedrals hummed with unseen energy, where towers gathered power from the sky, and colossal structures were not merely built, but charged with purpose. This is the whisper of lost Tartarian technology. A knowledge erased, yet hinted at in the forgotten corners of history. What if these structures were not just places of worship, but something far more advanced? Some believe that Tartarian architecture contained elements of energy harvesting, a technology now lost to time. The pointed domes, the spires, the metallic ornaments. What if these were not just decorative, but part of a vast interconnected energy grid? What if these buildings, now gutted and repurposed, once powered entire civilizations? If this theory is true, it changes everything we know about history. Because if Tartary had mastered free energy, if they had found a way to harness the power of the earth itself, then what happened to them? The answer may lie in the flood. Something catastrophic happened. Something erased Tartaria from history. Not just in words, but in stone, in soil, in the very foundations of our cities. Throughout the world, evidence of a forgotten disaster lingers in plain sight. Buildings half buried beneath layers of soil, windows peering out from underground, structures far too advanced for the times they were supposedly built in. Anomalies dismissed as mere coincidence. Some call it the mud flood, a great cataclysm that swallowed cities whole, burying an empire beneath a veil of earth and silence. But was it natural? Or, because history, as we know it, is written by the victors, and if Tartaria was erased, who had the power to erase it? What if the mud flood was not an accident, but a reset? What if the world we live in today was built atop the ruins of an older, more advanced civilization, one that had to be buried, to be forgotten? Look closely at the world's great architectural wonders, the domed palaces, the towering spires, the intricate star forts. What do they all have in common? The answer? Energy. Structures supposedly built for mere aesthetic grandeur bear striking resemblances to power stations. Temples, cathedrals, and government buildings. Were they designed not just for worship or governance, but to collect and distribute energy? Could it be that the lost empire of Tartaria mastered a form of free energy? A wireless power grid that harnessed the Earth's electromagnetic field? What Tesla attempted to rediscover in the 19th century, had it already been perfected centuries before? Had Tartaria created a self-sustaining energy network, one that could power entire cities without wires, without fossil fuels, without control? If such knowledge existed, then where did it go? Who took it? And more importantly, why? There was a time when Tartaria was a known empire. It was listed in encyclopedias, marked on maps, taught in schools, and then it was erased. How does an empire, one that covered millions of square miles, simply disappear from history? Who erased it? And why? Could it be that a cataclysm, natural or man-made, wiped it from existence? Or was it something more sinister? A deliberate rewriting of history? A cover-up on a scale few could even fathom? Certain researchers believe the true fate of Tartaria lies hidden beneath layers of propaganda, that what we call history is selective. Why were so many grand buildings resembling the supposed Tartarian style demolished worldwide just years after being built? Why were entire cities erected overnight, only to be destroyed with no explanation? What if these weren't just fires? What if they were the erasure of a civilization that defied the accepted narrative? What if we've been living in a manufactured history all along? If Tartaria was nothing more than a medieval backwater, how do we explain the architecture? Across continents, across cultures, we see the same enigmatic style. Buildings that seem too perfect, too grand for their time. Some say these were built by the ruling elite. Others whisper of something far more unthinkable, that these structures were inherited, remnants of a world wiped away. What if these architectural wonders weren't created by 19th century hands, but merely claimed? History tells us these were temporary structures, mere facades. But the photographic evidence, the sheer scale, it tells another story. If Tartaria was an advanced civilization, one capable of architectural feats we still struggle to comprehend, then the destruction of these buildings wasn't just about urban development. It was about erasing a legacy. Was this the erasure of Tartarian history? Were these disasters really just convenient resets? There is a hidden language woven into the very foundations of our world, a pattern unseen, yet undeniable. The ancients did not build at random. They built with purpose. Gothic cathedrals, star forts, Byzantine palaces. They were more than places of worship, more than symbols of power. What if they were machines? Tesla once envisioned a world powered by free energy, where electromagnetic frequencies could be harnessed from the ether. But what if someone had already mastered this long before him? Why do so many Tartarian structures resemble tuning forks? Resonance chambers? What if they weren't just decorative, but functional? Star forts, once dismissed as military defenses, now suspected to be something far greater. An ancient energy grid, interconnected and charged with purpose. Why do these formations mirror modern electrical schematics? Why are they aligned with ley lines, Earth's natural energy highways? Were these structures part of a planetary-scale power system? A lost technology repurposed, then suppressed? If Tartaria once flourished on boundless etheric energy, then erasing its history wasn't just about control. It was about monopoly. History is written by the victors and rewritten by those in power. A civilization so vast, so powerful, it spanned continents. And yet, it is absent from our history books. Who erased it? And more importantly, why? We are told history follows a logical sequence, an unbroken chain of progress. But what if there was a deliberate reset, a rewriting of reality itself? The World's Fairs of the 1800s, dazzling spectacles of grand architecture. Officially, these monumental buildings were constructed in mere months, only to be torn down shortly after. A catastrophe or a cover-up. Disasters conveniently wiping history clean. The ruins of an erased empire. buried beneath layers of time, beneath layers of deception. And then, the children, the orphan trains, entire generations of displaced youths, filling the empty cities of a forgotten world. Who were they? Where did they come from? Were they the last remnants of a civilization wiped from memory? What happened to Tartaria was more than historical revisionism. It was an erasure. And now, as new structures rise, the remnants of the old world fade. But those who seek will always find. They say history is carved in stone. But what if it is written in sand? A civilization spanning continents, a people erased from time, an empire that lingers only in whispers and forbidden texts. But if you listen, if you look closer, the past is never truly lost. It waits beneath our cities, in the forgotten corridors of old buildings, in the faded pages of books no one reads anymore. Tartaria may be lost to the official narrative, but the question remains, why? What knowledge did they possess? What power did they wield? And who decided the world was better off? Without them? Perhaps. We are not meant to know. Or perhaps it is time to remember, eternally. The past is a puzzle, and the pieces are scattered. But together, we can uncover what was lost. If this journey into the shadows of history has stirred something within you, don't let the trail go cold. Subscribe to this channel and step further into the unknown. Here, we unveil the stories they tried to erase. We seek answers to the questions no one dares to ask. Like this video if you believe the truth should never be buried. Comment below. What do you think happened to Tartaria? Who wiped it from history? And why? And if you crave more, turn on notifications. The next revelation is coming soon. Some secrets were never meant to be forgotten.